Hi everyone, this is part two of the videos all the streams that we've been doing for setting up the OpenPnP with your index pick and place machine. So I'm just going to continue where we left off, and then we'll see how it goes from there. The last thing we checked was that the steps per millimeter seemed a tiny bit out, and there doesn't seem to be anything in uh, OpenPnP that you can adjust it with. It's more of a firmware thing that we need to adjust. So I'm going to switch over to the driver that we're using and then just go into the console. If we type in there M92, that should give us the parameters that we've set in the firmware. Just go and see if there is anything right at the bottom. Don't know why I'm scrolling up. Okay, so M92 X is 100.30 and Y is 80.1. It's quite a difference. I think that is probably from what I've set it before in trying to calibrate it. So we might be honing in a little bit more on this, and then we'll see what we're getting. Okay, I think we should scroll closer to that ruler that we've put on the table there earlier. Can turn the light back on there. Let's turn that top camera into view instead of watching both of them for no reason. Okay. I'm going to start off at the 10 centimeter, 10 millimeter mark, and then we'll just take it further from there. Yeah, I think I'm going to be happy with that little bit of an offset that we had there. I think I'll be happy with that. Just not on the spot that I want today. Okay, so go away and come back. I think I'm just going to be happy with there. It's pretty much as close as I want it to be. Okay, so we're going to move it over 10 centimeters or 100 millimeters over, and we see how big of a difference we're going to get there. Okay, we'll jog it back. We'll do this a few times and then see if there's any difference. Whoops, no. Okay, we'll bring it back. Yeah, it seems all right. Okay, so let's see if we change X 100. No, which direction? If I'm going over. Okay, well, I guess we can just test it. So we've already got 0.3. We're going to go with 0.5. Set that. And then let's move 100 millimeters. Let's see. Or 100 centimeters and see. No, 100 millimeters. Okay, so I'm basically increasing it now. We want to bring it down. So I'm going to go down to 100.1. That was not very clever. I should bring it back to 5. Before you make these changes, make sure that you start from the same point. So don't move and then make a change on M92 and then move back. You won't get back to your same location. So let me just move back, 100 millimeters back. There we go. Now we can make the change. 100.1. Then we move 100 millimeters again. Okay, I'm going to bring that back to 0. I shouldn't send the command now, just for safety. Stick that back on there, go back. It's so easy and so quick just to put in at the wrong time, and then it totally stuffs up your actions that you are actually trying to perform. So no need for that. Okay, let's stick to 100, move 100 millimeters. That is so damn close. Go back. I'm going to go 99.95, and then move 100 millimeters again. There we go, that seems spot on. So now we just keep going back and forward and see if it's going to stay at the same place. That seems all right. I'm quite happy with that. first time around when I did this calibration for the steps per millimeter, I would measure 10 millimeters in one direction and it would measure something else in another direction. So the whole thing with the backlash was throwing me off quite a bit. Okay, I'm just going to be happy with that. It seems really good. So now we need to make sure that we are setting, we are saving this to the EEPROM of the main board. So I think that's M500. I just want to make sure. Um, yeah, we'll chuck in some Google verification. Marlin save to EEPROM. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Okay, there we go. Save settings. M500. Okay. Yes. M500. Come on. M500. Okay. Lovely. Okay, so that one seems to be beautiful. Um, now what we're going to do is we're going to turn that ruler and we are going to do it on the y-axis. We're going to do exactly the same there. So let's give that a whirl. Trying to get it nice and parallel with the red line. And then hopefully we can make it at least seem like we're doing the right thing. Right. Okay. So we set that to 100 millimeters. And we are going to bring it in 100 millimeters. Yeah, that's short by a lot. That would explain why 2 days ago when I was trying to place parts, it was placing them so much short on the board. It's this whole y-axis steps per millimeter is so much off. Okay, so we're going to do an M92Y. It was set to 80 something. 80.10. Let's go 85 and see what that does. Before we do anything with that, let's take it back to our point, our starting point. There we go. Hit the change. Run down another 100 millimeters. Yeah, I'm wondering if it's going to be safer just to set it back to 100. Not safer, but just quicker. Oh, yes, that was dumb. I keep on saying you shouldn't do this, and then I do it. Let's set it back to 85. Oh, that won't work at all. I haven't been setting it to Y. I've just been adding in. I'm being silly. Okay, so take it back. Okay, so since there was no change, actually, I don't know what I was referring to, but anyway, so we go Y85. That should give us a different outcome. Whoa, okay. Y85 is clearly way past where we want it. Okay, so Y82, hang on, don't push that button yet. Okay, make the change, run 100 millimeters again. Okay, change it, but don't save it. Go back to our starting point. And then make the change in the firmware, run 100 millimeters again. This can get such a long, tedious process. But if you don't do this, unfortunately, you're just going to end up with issues. Go back. Eighty 1.5. Okay, 81.3 probably, will hopefully be on the same spot as the 10. So save that, run the 100 mil test again. I guess almost there, not quite. I don't think I saved the firmware there. No, I didn't. Last one is 0.3. Okay. I was wondering why there's no change. Right. Now we can go a little bit finer. That seems pretty good to me. Maybe 0.6. 0.16. Okay, take it back a notch. That seems pretty damn close. Okay, so for some reason it seems like the machine stopped. But so far I think our settings is good. I'm going to make sure I copy that. And then I'm going to just do an M500 to save to the EEPROM. Yeah, it seems like OpenPnP might have lost its marbles. Maybe we try and home it and see what it does. Okay, so the machine is still running. Right. Oops. Turn the light back on. Okay, not quite. Yeah, I think we are pretty much spot on with Y now. So I am quite happy with that. So I think we're just going to save the changes. Now, these settings you can take and you can go and type it into your firmware. So we can now go and take these X, Y, and Z and E, and we can go put it into Marlin, and we can save that as our default for our machine. If you have, if you want to, you can do it. If you don't need to. The only thing is, if for some reason the EEPROM loses its memory, then you'll have to set that up again, and everything will be skewed, and as it was before. Um, so yeah, I think it's probably best for a default to load this into Marlin. But if you've got your EEPROM enabled, you can really just save it there as well. Just a note, to make the M500 save to the EEPROM, it has to be enabled in Marlin, otherwise it will not work. So make sure you've got EEPROM enabled in Marlin. Right, I think we're good. So let's have a look and see what our next steps are. We probably want to have a look and see I think we've already done the measurement, but since we had to fix this, I'm not sure if this is going to help us much. Let's carry on and see. Okay. Yeah, okay, so our units per pixel is, I want to say out again, but that's for the bottom version. It's not for the header. Let's have a look and see if our top one is still, no, that seems to be good. It's got the measurements in there. bottom one, yeah, it's still got, it's not zero, so I'm happy with that for now. See if we take it there. Okay, but there seems to be a difference between moving it with this little graphic cursor and moving it with the controls here. I know Mark Maker has made a new video of, I think it's changes that's coming out in OpenPnP, and I really can't wait for that. It's automatic calibration of all these things, and you know what? It even makes this little UI thing here where you can drag it to a specific spot much more accurate than what it is at the moment. So that'll be fantastic. It'll pretty much make this whole streaming series of mine null and void if the calibration stuff works nicely. Um, so yeah, we'll just have to keep an eye on that. I hope it comes out soon. Okay, so let's have a look and see. What's going to be our next step? Have a look at the nozzle calibration, maybe. Okay, so for the nozzle calibration to work, we have to look at the bottom camera and make sure that we've got the position set up. If the position is not set up for the nozzle, it's not going to help much. Okay, change that to both camera views, and then I'm just going to jog it over to where the bottom camera is, and we can have a look at that. Now the thing is here, if the nozzle is not in position over this little crosshair, you cannot do the nozzle tip calibration. It just won't do it. So there's two things we need to do. We need to make sure that we've got this thing set in the right spot, and then mark home. Let's bring it down a bit. Okay, so this is something I'm not getting, is the Z or the Z is 0 again for some reason, and it's not at position 0. So I'm going to click home, just home the machine again. Now hopefully when it's finished homing, it will return to the same place because we did check the calibration marker. Okay. Okay, so we've got this timeout waiting for response, waiting for moves to complete. Now, in part one of this series, there was a little setting here in the driver, under driver settings, we had this set to 15. So moves to complete, I'm going to make it a lot bigger and just go 30. Click apply, and then we can go back. No. Right. Okay. Let's set that to 0 and then move that into place. Okay, so there's kind of this thing that you need to be aware of. You need to try and get this nozzle as damn close as possible to the center. Well, I think that's pretty much as close as we can get it. So we're going to just click this button here to make sure that it captures the position of the nozzle. And then we can go and have a look at calibrating our nozzle. Now, the funny thing is we are in position at the moment, and I've been having issues with having it in position and then clicking on reference here and then going to edit. The problem that I was having is if you have a look at the circle mask, it was not masking the circle. Like in this case, it seems like the circle is way off, masking at some random position. Not sure why that is. Previously it was just a black screen. Okay, so it was recommended that we move out of the view and then instead of moving manually into that space, we go and click on this little button here. Yeah, and that does not take me to where I want to be. That's way off. I wonder if that's going to show up in there. Nope. The mask is showing, but it's clearly not in position. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the camera position. move it away, and then come back, and then click on this little thing again. There we go. So now we've got that in place. I just want to go back and see if we can get that nicely centered. Yeah, I think I'm going to be alright with that. Move it away one more time, and then bring it back one more time. Okay, now hit the calibrate button. Too many must detects. See if we increase the must detects to about 10 for now, just to get it to work. We'll try that. And try and force the lights on and see if it's going to make a difference. The machine doesn't seem to care. Okay. It's perhaps a good time to set that brightness on it. something that we wanted to do earlier is set the brightness on it so that it's not so overexposed. Hopefully that does help with this. What shall we make it? Now, something it's doing now that it hasn't been doing before is keep on switching on and off the light. And I think that is messing with it. So I'm wondering if this actuator, if we've got anything set on any of the axes. Nothing here. Huh? Take the camera auto mode off for now. I don't see anything here that would trigger the light. Nothing on the nozzle tip. The part detection is not enabled, so I'm not worried about that. The tool changer is not enabled, so not worried about that. Um, but the light is not quite working as I expected. So I've got the light actuator, I've got the bottom lights on. Remove the machine before actuation. Machine state enabled, leave enabled. I'm changing this to leave as is, so I don't think it's going to make any difference. I'm kind of grasping at straws here, but we'll have a look and see what it says on the axis. There's nothing here that says anything about turning the lights on. All of these need to be good. Offset wizard won't have anything to do with it. Might as well stick the vac pump on there where it should be, since we added. And then park location. That will leave as it is. Homing method. I thought maybe it's got something to do with the rotation and stuff that's set on the camera, but I didn't see that at the bottom camera. See the positioning there, and here, but it's not the same fields. So you can't select rotation. Hang on a second. After capture, turn off. What an idiot. Okay. Let's try that again. it's not detecting that it's turning. Okay, so if we mess with the offset threshold, just to see what we can mess around with and what the results are, let's have a look and see. I'm starting to wonder if my focus is way off. I did change the nozzle, and that could probably be what I did wrong. Stick the nozzle to where we had it before. Just not happy with that. Yeah, let's home it again. Now, something I do notice that's odd is this camera here is supposed to be flipped, and it doesn't seem like it's flipped yet. It's flipped there. Huh. Okay. Let's home the machine and try again. Okay, instead of messing about with the threshold on the offset threshold here, I will go and put it back to where it was. And we'll set the allowed must detects. Go apply. We'll reset the calibration information. Just wait for it to finish. Okay, too many must detects. Let's go and have a look why. Okay, so it can see the nozzle tip nicely. So we're going to edit the pipeline. Seems like it's detecting the hole there, which is good. Circle mask is there. I'm going to increase the circle mask a little bit to 350. Maybe even a little bit more. Let's go 450. Okay. Get the entire nozzle in the view there. Right. And we'll go and just go through the steps here. Have a look. Let's change the threshold to 20. Maybe even a little bit more. Okay. Seems to be right on the spot. I guess it won't hurt to have the debug on. We'll close that. Say yes, we want to save the pipeline. And let's go calibrate it again. Still too many misdetects. The software is lagging quite a bit at the moment, so maybe it would do us good just to close it and see if we can get that working. Try and save that again. Okay. Okay, let's reconnect and see if we get a different result. The performance is definitely degraded, and It doesn't seem to be OpenPnP. I think I might have some issue on my machine. Probably needs a good restart, and then we'll see how we go from there. So I will continue this stream again. But let's try and sort that out first. Too many must detects. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to cut it short here. Restart my machine. Restart the stream after we can verify that it is the machine maybe that's causing the problem. Cool. Thanks.